Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CM Trading. Today is January 19th, 2022, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets tumble yesterday, over 500 points on the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. And looking at the major economic events of the day, so at 9 a.m. South African time, out of Great Britain, we have a yearly CPI number coming out. That's a very important inflationary number that's going to affect the British pound. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs sold off versus the U.S. dollar as the U.S. dollar got stronger. And that's really on the back of the fact that the indices sold off, namely the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. Now, looking at commodities, oil retraced after hitting $86 a barrel and gold pretty much unchanged. Now, in terms of the stocks, it's the big board stocks that sold off the most. JP Morgan continued to gap down, while the tech stocks were relatively strong. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, it's wavering sideways. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So look at this. You can't write this up. I mean, this is just like classic trading. 1482, where we hit the high for the euro and then tumbling down to 1335. So we're still back in this range-ish level. So is this real? No, it's not really real. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that this was just a perk up to dump. Now, looking at the Gbp Usd. Now, we mentioned this as this is unfolded over the last couple of days. Look at this. We were in this range right here between these two moving averages, and finally it showed us which way it wanted to go. Broke on the downside. Now it's using this 8-day moving average. If you look at it quite clearly, it's using it as a resistance level. Look at that. Every time it hit it, it sold off. Now it's breaching it right now. The question is whether or not that's going to change today. Could be it is, because I expect the NASDAQ to actually bounce today, and you'll see why in just a second. But this has retraced itself from 37.44 down to 36. That's a 140 pips from our highs. Now looking at the Aussie dollar, not much change here. Okay, so Aussie dollar not really trading so much. Now jumping in commodities, first looking at gold, unchanged here, 1814. But let's look at oil, retracing here after hitting $86.30. Okay, which was a decent move for it on the upside. But the sell-off, you know, is where we are at. Now looking at a daily, just to give us perspective, we hit new highs for the year on the oil. So that's a important factor as we're hitting this new highs here. Now looking at the big board, first the Dow Jones, look at it tumble to 35,000 points, okay, and from its high of 36,700, we only hit it about 2 weeks ago. Okay, so this is really just a very obscene move in such a short time, and this is a normal sell-off. Okay, the beginning of the year, everybody was asking me towards the end of 2021, was the Dow Jones going to sell off? And historically it does during January. It initially pushed everybody higher and then, you know, pushed everything lower. Okay, now it does have support here, so just be aware of that. So I do expect a bit of a bounce. Looking at the NASDAQ also hitting this very important level of 15,000, which is psychologically an important level. Now, if you look at the big stocks, okay, the big tech stocks, Apple sold off, but not so much. I would have expected it to be into the 158-ish area. If we look at Amazon, also didn't sell off. It's on support, didn't sell off. Microsoft, it retraced, yes, to 302, but this is a support area. Previous resistance, subsequent support. So today is going to be a very important day for these type of stocks to see if the NASDAQ does actually bounce off today. Now lastly, looking at JP Morgan of the stocks, 168 down to 151, but we're looking at a daily. So, you know, all intents and purposes, we're still in this range. Okay, and until we break this, okay, until we break this level 149, I think we're going to continue trading in this area. Okay, so that's something to consider. Now looking at Bitcoin, okay, just wavering sideways, not doing much. So you just got to hang in tight until it does breach something, either on the upside or the downside, but it's got to show some character. Until it does, then it's not tradable. It's just trading flat. Okay, but if it does break this 41,000, then you guys know what to do. It's probably going to take it further down. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.